Hey everyone, Quinn here from Tactical and Practical, doing a little work on my Henry 3030. I was at the range yesterday because I make sure you're gun safe before you work on it, right? I was doing a little work at the range yesterday, checking out how I could do with these iron sights. Thinking about putting a Skinner peep on the back. And as a precursor to that, I thought it would make sense to see how I do with just the semi-buckhorn that comes with them. And I was having some trouble. I was on a standard 4-inch target. I initially put the bead on the bottom of the orange ball, and that put me like 8 to 10 inches high of the bull. And I was pretty confused because I had this rear elevator. You can slide that up or down. I had it in the all the way down position, and I found I had to basically aim at the bottom of the paper to get this thing approximately to the bullseye, and that was with my sight picture such that the bead, I could barely see the top of the bead in the notch, and I think I needed to be able to see the bead higher up, particularly if you want to use the kind of the 6 o'clock bead placement to put your bullets on target. I took it home, talked to a couple friends, and then I actually called Henry, but while I was doing all that, I found a screw. There is a teeny tiny screw right to the lower right of this rear buckhorn sight. And that screw is called the insert adjustment screw, and I hadn't seen this before. It blends in with the sight pretty well, and I just didn't notice it, or if I did, I figured it was to hold the assembly together. But in any case, when you release this screw, it's tiny, you want to be very careful with it, you can then adjust the insert that determines where the notch fits in your buckhorn sight. So I just took the screw out and was able to push down on that insert, which should then hopefully bring my bead up significantly for my sight picture. Unfortunately, I ran through a bunch of ammunition, not a bunch, but I was having fun. But I was running through ammunition and I was a little frustrated, and had I known that this little jobber here, this little tiny screw, could have released that insert, I could have made some additional elevation adjustments that you just can't do by means of the back and forth elevator with the notches that you may be used to. So I'm going to adjust this insert down all the way, which I did, do my best not to lose this screw and put it back in here, and then go back to the range and see how I do. At that time, I will come back and report how well I did with the iron sights. We'll see. I just cranked, that sight picture was so difficult that I just cranked this insert to max bottom. I don't imagine that max bottom is probably going to be the setting, but I'm hoping that if I get lucky with it, that max bottom will be enough that the bead will be a little higher than I want, and then I'm hopeful that maybe I could just use the more standard elevation slider to get me where I want to be. You could, I suppose, take a file of this thing if you wanted to. You could just get rid of it altogether, but I did want to give it a shot because this is how it came from the factory, so somebody thinks it must work okay. People have been using these for a long time, so you're going to need a really small screwdriver to get to this, and you're probably also, if you're like me, going to need to make sure you have your glasses with you. But if you put your gun down on something super soft so you won't mess up the crown of the gun, the easiest way I found here to get this thing back in is basically put the gun vertical, because then if you set this screw into that hole just right, it'll sit there patiently waiting for you to get a tiny screwdriver on it and tighten it down. So that's it. I got it tightened down and I put it to the lowest position. You also can remove this insert entirely. It comes painted up with a little white diamond there to draw your eye in, I guess. If you don't like that white diamond, you could take this thing out and flip it over and insert it back in, and then you would not have to look at that white diamond. So we'll see how we did, but if you're having trouble with your semi-buckhorn iron sights on a Henry and you don't understand what's up with the elevation, you might want to try to play with that insert that is actually inside that semi-buckhorn sight. Hope this helped you out. If you got something out of it, please like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.